Between 1914 and 1918, the world plunged into an unprecedented war. A war that destroyed empires, changed borders, and left scars that still echo today. But the real hell wasn't in the bombs nor in the planes. It was beneath the ground, in the trenches. At the beginning of the war, everyone thought the conflict would be quick, but they soon realized that the new weapons, machine guns, heavy artillery, made it impossible to advance in open fields. The solution? Dig. Thus was born the trench system, a war of positions where every meter of land cost hundreds of lives. These trenches stretched for nearly 800 kilometers, linking the North Sea to the Alps. And in them, millions of men would live for years in inhuman conditions. The trenches weren't simple holes. They were organized systems with lines of defense, communication, and support. The front trench, where the fighting took place. The support trench, a bit behind, with reinforcements and supplies. And the reserve trench, where soldiers tried to rest. Between them, narrow passages called saps connected the lines. Everything was protected by sandbags, wood, and barbed wire. Even so, nothing protected them from constant fear and mud. Life in the trenches was a nightmare. The mud never dried. Rain turned everything into a swamp. Soldiers slept wet, surrounded by rats the size of cats. Lice, disease, and the stench of death were constant companions. The dreaded trench foot slowly rotted soldiers' feet due to the dampness. Many lost their toes before even facing the enemy. On top of that, there was the unending roar of artillery. Some soldiers went insane, what was then called shell shock, now known as psychological trauma. There are days when the bombardment never stops. Neither the sun, nor sleep, nor hope remain. Every morning at dawn came the stand to. Everyone in position, ready for attack. The routine was unpredictable. Hours of boredom, followed by minutes of pure terror. Between the enemy trenches lay a deadly field, no man's land, full of craters, corpses, and barbed wire. Those who went out to patrol there rarely came back. We went out 4, I came back alone. Out there, war has no sound, only fear. At Christmas 1914, something extraordinary happened. Tired of death, German and British soldiers began to sing. Silent night. Little by little, they laid down their weapons and met in the middle of no man's land. They exchanged cigarettes, chocolates, and even played football. It was the Christmas Truce, a moment of humanity in the midst of hell. Real quote, British soldier. I will never forget that day. For a few hours, we were men again, not enemies. But the next day, the war went on, and the truce never happened again. Among the trench stories, one became famous. A British soldier, Henry Tandy, is said to have spared a wounded young German soldier. His name was Adolf Hitler. Years later, Hitler recognized Tandy's photograph and allegedly said, "This man could have killed me, but he didn't." Fate sometimes writes ironies no author would dare imagine. In 1918, silence finally took over the front. The war was over, but the trenches remained, filled with bodies, memories, and ghosts. More than 10 million soldiers died. Most of them never left the ditches where they fought. Today, some trenches can still be visited, open scars on the land and in human memory. The trenches of the First World War showed both the worst and the best of humankind. Courage, fear, friendship, and despair, all mixed in the mud. And above all, a lesson that still echoes today. No war is glorious, and no peace is too small. In memory of those who fought and those who never returned.